Hi, I'm Ben. I'm here to learn English.
And I'm Emma. I'm here to help.
Let's learn together.
Let's learn together. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Emma.
And I'm Ben. Today we're doing something super practical, an IELTS speaking cue card together.
Yep, so if you're listening on your commute or while you're cooking, you can still practice. We'll walk through a real cue card, show you how to plan, give a strong sample answer, and then we'll do part 3 style follow-up questions.
And we'll keep it natural, like a real conversation, but also very clear so you can borrow structures, vocabulary, and ideas.
Exactly. Ready? Let's do it.
All right, imagine you're in IELTS Speaking Part 2. The examiner hands you a card and says, you have 1 minute to prepare. You should speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Here's today's cue card.
I'll read it as the examiner. Describe a time you helped someone. You should say who you helped, how you helped them, why you helped them, and explain how you felt afterward.
Nice, a classic topic. Helpful because it connects to your real life and it's easy to expand with details.
Before we jump into an answer, let's show listeners how to plan in that 1 minute. Ben, what do you usually write?
I write tiny notes, not full sentences. I think of a clear story with a beginning, middle, and end. For this cue card, I'd note who, maybe a neighbor, friend, classmate, how, what action I took, why, motivation, feeling, reflection after.
Love it. Also, I like to add 2 extra stretch details to make the story richer, like where it happened and a small problem or obstacle.
Right, IELTS loves specificity. Even if the story is simple, details make it sound real.
Okay, let's model a quick 1-minute brainstorm. I'll do mine out loud like I'm scribbling. Who? My coworker Lena. Where? Office last winter. Problem. She was overwhelmed with the deadline. How? I stayed late for 2 evenings, helped organize slides, and practiced her presentation. Why? She's supportive to me, and I didn't want her to fail. Feeling proud, relieved, closer friendship.
That's already a full roadmap.
Great. Now I'll give a sample part 2 answer. Listeners, as you listen, notice the structure and the phrases. Ready? I'm going to speak like I'm in the test.
Go for it.
Well, I'd like to talk about a time I helped a colleague of mine called Lena. This happened last winter at our office when we were working on a pretty intense project with a tight deadline. Lena was responsible for giving the final presentation to the management team, and about 3 days before the meeting, she started to look really stressed out. To be more specific, she had a lot of data to include, but her slides were messy and she wasn't confident about explaining the key points. When I noticed how overwhelmed she was, I offered to help her after work. So we stayed late for 2 evenings. First, we reorganized the presentation by grouping the information into 3 simple sections. Then I helped her design clearer slides, like using fewer words and adding charts instead. After that, we practiced her talk a couple of times, and I gave her some feedback on how to speak more smoothly and confidently. I helped her mainly because she had always been supportive to me in the past, and honestly, I didn't want her to struggle alone. The project mattered to the whole team, so if her presentation went badly, it could affect us all. In the end, she did really well. The meeting was successful, and she told me afterward that she felt much calmer because of the practice we did. I felt genuinely proud and relieved. It also made me feel closer to her because it wasn't just a professional thing. It was like we had each other's backs. So yeah, that was a memorable time I helped someone.
That's a solid 2 minutes. Nicely balanced. Story, details, and reflection.
Thanks. Let's break down why it works. First, I started with I'd like to talk about. That signals the topic. Then I gave time and place. Then I used to be more specific, to zoom in.
And you used sequencing words. First, then, after that. That keeps the listener, aka the examiner, totally clear about your story. Coherence is huge for Band 7+.
Right. Now, Ben, you give your sample answer, maybe a different story so listeners get variety.
Sure, I'll do mine a bit more personal. All right, I'm going to describe a time when I helped a friend of mine prepare for a big life change. So, the person I helped was my close friend, Amir. About 2 years ago, he decided to move to another city for a new job. He was excited but also nervous because he had never lived away from his family before. A few weeks before he left, he called me and told me he felt totally unprepared. In terms of how I helped him, I did two main things. First, I helped him with the practical side. We spent a weekend sorting out his apartment search online, making a list of safe neighborhoods, and comparing rent prices. I also went with him to see a couple of places because he wanted a second opinion, and honestly, he was worried about getting scammed. Second, I supported him emotionally. We talked a lot about what to expect in a new city, how to make friends, and how to deal with homesickness. I tried to be realistic but encouraging, and I reminded him that feeling nervous was normal. The reason I helped him was simple. He's one of my best friends, and he had been there for me during a difficult time in the past. I felt like this was my chance to return that support. Also, I kind of enjoyed problem solving, so helping him plan everything felt satisfying. Afterwards, I felt really happy and useful. On moving day, he looked much more confident, and later he told me that settling in was easier because of the preparation we did. I think that experience strengthened our friendship, and it reminded me that small help can make a big difference.
Also great. I love that you had two help types, practical and emotional. That's a smart expansion trick.
Yeah, if you ever worry you don't have enough to say for 2 minutes, split your how you helped into two parts.
Exactly. Now we'll shift into IELTS Speaking Part 3. Remember, Part 3 is more abstract and general. The examiner asks questions connected to the cue card topic but broader.
Ben, we'll do this like a mini discussion and you can pause and answer out loud too.
Emma, Part 3, Question 1. Why do some people enjoy helping others?
But I think there are a few reasons. One simple reason is empathy. When you see someone struggling, you naturally want to make their life easier. Another reason is that helping can boost your self-esteem. It makes you feel capable and kind, so psychologically it's rewarding.
Totally. Also, in many cultures, helping others is linked to social values. If you grow up seeing your family help neighbors or relatives, you internalize that as normal behavior. So, enjoyment comes from feeling connected to your community.
Nice phrase there, internalize values. Great for band score.
Here's another Part 3 question. Do you think people help others more now than in the past?
Tricky. I'd say the type of help has changed. In the past, communities were smaller, so people helped face-to-face, like sharing food or fixing someone's house. Nowadays, because of busy lifestyles, maybe we help less in person, but more online, like donating to crowdfunding or giving advice in forums.
I agree. I don't think humans suddenly became less kind. It's more about structure of life. Urbanization, long work hours, and social media have shifted how support happens. We might help strangers more globally now, but maybe help immediate neighbors less.
Great contrast language there, globally versus immediate neighbors.
Next question. Should children be taught to help others? How?
Absolutely. I'd say it's a core life skill. Kids can learn through example more than lectures. If parents volunteer or help relatives, children copy that. Schools can build it through group projects, community service days, or even smaller classroom habits like peer tutoring.
Yeah. And I'd add that children should learn that helping doesn't always mean big sacrifices. It can be small things like sharing notes, listening, or helping someone feel included. That teaches them social responsibility without making it feel like a burden.
Good. Social responsibility is another strong term.
Here's a more challenging one. Is it possible to help someone too much?
Oh, for sure. If you help someone constantly, they may become dependent. That can actually harm their confidence because they stop believing they can handle things alone. So help should be balanced and respectful.
Exactly. There's even a phrase, to enable someone, meaning you unintentionally support their bad habits or avoid them growing. Good help empowers the person, not replaces them.
Nice. You could say effective support should be empowering rather than enabling.
Great high bend sentence. Now, another question. What are the differences between helping family and helping strangers?
Hmm. Helping family feels more automatic. There's emotional closeness and maybe obligation, so you help without thinking too much. With strangers, motivation is more based on values, empathy, or a sense of morality. The help might be smaller, but more spontaneous.
True. Also, with family, you understand the person's needs better. With strangers, you sometimes hesitate because you don't know if your help is wanted or safe. Cultural norms play a role too. Some societies encourage helping strangers openly, while others are more cautious.
That's a nice way to show cultural awareness.
All right, listeners, now we want to zoom out and give you a few golden tools you can use in any cue card about experiences.
Tool 1, use a simple timeline. This happened when, at the time, after that, in the end. It automatically gives structure.
Tool 2, add feelings at different stages, not just at the end. Like, at first, I felt unsure. During the situation, I was nervous. Afterward, I felt proud. That makes your answer more human and longer.
Tool 3, include one small obstacle. Maybe you didn't have time or you weren't sure what to do. It creates story tension.
Exactly. Without an obstacle, stories can feel flat. IELTS doesn't need drama, but it needs real-life texture.
Let's do a quick practice round. Emma, I'll ask you a surprise mini cue card follow-up. Not a full 2 minutes, just a quick response.
Okay, hit me.
Describe a person who often helps others. Who pops into your mind?
My aunt, actually. She's the kind of person who never waits to be asked. For example, if someone gets sick in the family, she'll organize meals, drive them to appointments, and even check on their kids. I think what makes her special is that she helps in a calm way. She doesn't want attention for it. Being around her taught me that generosity can be quiet, not performative.
Great adjective there. Performative. Very modern.
Thanks. Your turn. Describe a situation when someone helped you.
Oh, easy. When I was learning to drive, I was terrified of highways. A friend of mine used to come with me early on Sunday mornings when roads were empty. He'd sit calmly, talk me through lane changes, and remind me to breathe. It wasn't a big thing for him, but it completely changed my confidence. So now I try to pass that kindness on when I can.
Love it. See, listeners, these are simple stories. The key is to tell them clearly and add reflection.
Speaking of reflection, let's share a few flexible phrases you can steal.
Here are some for introducing your story. I'd like to talk about one memorable time was when. The first person that comes to mind is.
For adding detail, to be more specific, what I mean is, in other words.
For sequencing, initially, after that, eventually, by the end.
And for feeling or reflection, I felt a huge sense of, it made me realize that, looking back, I think.
If you sprinkle 2 or 3 of these naturally, your answer sounds organized without sounding robotic.
Now, let's do one more Part 3 cluster at a slightly higher difficulty because some of you are aiming for Band 7.5 or 8.
Okay. Question. Do you think governments should encourage people to volunteer? Why or why not?
I think yes, because volunteering builds social cohesion. When people contribute to their communities, they feel more connected and less isolated. Governments can encourage it through awareness campaigns or by supporting volunteer organizations financially.
Agreed, but I'd add a small caution. It should be encouragement, not pressure. If volunteering becomes a requirement, people might do it only for certificates, not from real motivation. So government should make it easy and attractive, like giving students credit or recognizing volunteers publicly.
Nice balance. Showing 2 sides is great for Part 3.
Another question. How can workplaces create a culture of helping?
I'd say through leadership and systems. If managers openly support teamwork and reward collaboration, employees copy that. Also, practical systems like mentorship programs or shared learning sessions make helping normal, not optional.
Completely. I'd also say workplaces need psychological safety. If people fear being judged, they won't ask for help, and then helping can't happen. So a good culture is where asking and giving help feels safe and respected.
Great term again, psychological safety.
Okay, last question. Can helping others benefit the helper? In what ways?
Definitely. First, emotionally, it can reduce stress and improve mood because you feel useful. Second, socially, helping builds relationships and trust. And third, professionally, people remember you as reliable, which can open opportunities.
Yep. Also, skills-wise, helping teaches you patience, communication, and problem solving. So if you start helping to be kind, you end up growing yourself too.
Love it.
All right, let's wrap this up with a mini challenge for listeners.
Here it is. Pause the podcast and try your own answer to the cue card. Use our structure. Don't aim for perfection, aim for clarity. Record yourself if you can. Then listen again and notice what you could add, a detail, an obstacle, or a reflection.
And remember, in IELTS Speaking, the examiner isn't checking if your life is amazing. They're checking if your English is clear, organized, and natural.
Exactly. Simple story, strong language.
Thanks for practicing with us today. I'm Emma.
I'm Ben. See you in the next episode.